The branch manager's compliance terminal registered a clearance at 11:47 in the morning, and no one inside that building had authorized it. That is where this file ends, but you need to understand where it begins, because the beginning is what makes the ending impossible to dismiss. You are standing in the lobby of a regional bank branch on a Thursday in February. The floor is polished marble. 3 tellers at the counter have found reasons not to make eye contact with what is happening near the manager's desk. What is happening is that an 81-year-old man named Walter is standing with a manila envelope in both hands, the kind you hold carefully when the documents inside feel important. And the branch manager is telling him, with the precise calm of someone who has rehearsed this kind of interaction for the express purpose of ending it quickly, that his account has been flagged under the branch's current identity verification compliance framework, and that no transaction can be authorized until the required documentation protocols have been satisfied. Walter's identification card expired 14 months ago. He explains, without raising his voice, that his license was surrendered when he stopped driving 3 years back. He has his account number, his social security card, and the same signature he has used at this branch for 47 years. The manager does not look at any of it. I am Claire, and this archive opens tonight on a case that 3 senior compliance officers reviewed and could not explain. Not because they lacked the training or the access, but because the system entry they were looking at had no traceable cause that any of them could attribute to a human being. Subscribe to this channel before we continue. These accounts exist because people need them, and the ones who find this archive tend to find it at the moment it matters most. What Walter said next in that lobby is the part the manager did not record in the interaction log. And what appeared on the branch compliance terminal at 11:47 that morning is the part that left the room silent. I have read enough institutional records in this archive to recognize the particular grammar of authority using itself as a wall. The manager's documented phrase, reviewed later in full by the branch's ethics committee, was this: given the current regulatory environment, I am not in a position to override a system flag without compliant documentation on file. I would ask that you allow our security associate to help you find the exit. He said this to an 81-year-old man who had never once in 47 years overdrawn his account, missed a minimum balance, or generated a compliance flag of any kind before that morning. Walter did not argue. That is the first detail I noted when I reviewed the branch's security footage log, which the ethics committee later requested in full. He folded the manila envelope carefully, tucked it under his arm, and walked toward the exit alongside the security associate at the same unhurried pace he had walked in. The teller at the nearest window looked down. The other customers in the lobby studied their phones. There is a particular kind of weight that comes from watching a person carry their dignity through a room that has decided to treat them as a procedural inconvenience. I feel it every time I open a file like this one. These files carry that weight, and I do not put them down when the recording ends. If you have ever sat in a waiting room and felt the institution on the other side of the glass treat your presence as a problem to be managed rather than a person to be served, you know that silence. It is a heavy thing to witness a proud institution arrive at the absolute edge of its own rules and discover that the rules are the problem. What comes next in this file is not something that the branch's compliance framework has language for. If this account is sitting with you, take a moment here. Subscribe to MiracleLE and help ensure these documented records reach the people who need them. What happened to Walter's account at 11:47 that morning is in the formal written finding, and none of the 3 professionals who signed it could put a human cause beside it. Walter sat down on the concrete step outside the branch entrance. February. The cold came up through the back of his coat. He had taken the 40-minute bus ride to get there, and the return bus did not run for another 2 hours. His monthly prescription, due for pickup that afternoon, cost $68. The pharmacy did not hold orders past the pickup date without a deposit. The branch's formal appeals process required written documentation, submitted in person, reviewed within 5 to 7 business days, and resolved only through in-branch interaction with the same manager who had initiated the flag. There was no online pathway. There was no escalation line for customers without digital access. The regional customer service number, when dialed from Walter's prepaid phone, produced a menu system that required verification through a mobile application he did not own. Every institutional door closed in the sequence it was built to close. This matters to establish with precision, because the explanation that skeptics reach for first runs out here, on this step, in the cold, at 11:43 in the morning, on a Thursday in February. The link to the full archive is in the description. These documents are preserved and available. Walter reached into his coat pocket and removed a rosary. His late wife, Agnes, had carried it for 30 years before she passed. The St. Jude medal attached to it was worn nearly silver from decades of handling. He held it in both hands. The branch's exterior security camera, reviewed in full by the ethics committee, recorded him sitting there for 4 minutes. At 11:47, the branch manager's compliance terminal registered a clearance event on Walter's account. You need to sit with that timestamp. 11:47, 4 minutes after Walter sat down on that step. The clearance did not originate from any user session active inside the building at that time. The bank's information technology department examined the system access logs for every authenticated session within a 40-minute window on either side of the event. None of them corresponded to the clearance entry. The regional compliance officer, whose authorization level would be the appropriate credential for a clearance of this type, confirmed in writing that she had not initiated it. Her session log showed her last activity as having occurred 40 minutes earlier on an entirely unrelated account. 3 senior compliance officers were assigned to the incident review. Their formal written finding, submitted to the bank's regulatory compliance division and preserved in this archive, reads as follows. No internal or external user session log corresponds to the clearance event timestamp. The entry exists in the system. It carries all required authorization flags and system signatures. It has no traceable operational cause. Not unusual, not anomalous in a general sense. No traceable operational cause. This archive notes the difference between those phrases and does not allow them to be smoothed together. For those who carry the traditional faith, you already know what I am describing. An unexpected turn, when it arrives from that particular direction, does not require a session log to operate. It does not announce itself with drama. Walter's account was cleared, fully cleared. The documentation flag was lifted. All of it was recorded in the system at 11:47 on a Thursday in February, while Walter sat on a cold concrete step, holding Agnes's rosary, 4 minutes into a silent prayer. If this account is reaching you tonight, share this file with someone sitting at their own version of a closed institutional door. The record of what 3 compliance professionals could not explain in writing belongs here, and it is yours to carry forward. The branch manager called Walter's nephew that afternoon to locate a phone number. He called Walter that evening. He did not have a system explanation to offer, because the information technology department did not have one either, but he told Walter his account was fully accessible and asked him to return the following morning. I have read the manager's voluntary submission to the ethics committee. It does not read like self-protection. It reads like a man attempting to find language for an experience that exceeded the vocabulary available to him in his professional role. He requested a formal review of the branch's customer interaction protocols. He noted that the compliance procedure applied, that Thursday had been technically correct under every applicable guideline, and that this was precisely the problem he was asking them to examine. The committee's summary documented the compliance clearance anomaly. It noted that 3 separate technical review teams had been consulted and that none had identified a system-side explanation. It noted the manager's voluntary submission. It noted that Walter's account had been in continuous good standing for 47 years. The summary contains one sentence that the archive holds in full. The record of this interaction and of the events that followed it invites a degree of reflection that falls outside the committee's formal mandate. Walter returned the following Sunday with a small bunch of flowers and placed them at the base of the decorative arch above the branch entrance, a remnant of the building's original structure when it had been a neighborhood church. He did not explain the gesture to anyone who asked. He said simply, "For Agnes, these files are preserved here because the record matters. Subscribe to this archive. Share this account with someone who needs it tonight." The ledger does not close on the unexplained. It opens there, and there are always more files.